واسأل بني إسرائيل إذ جاءهم فقال له فرعون إني لأظنك يا موسى مسحورا قال لقد علمت ما أنزل هؤلاء إلا رب السماوات والأرض بصائر وإني لأظنك يا فرعون مثبورا فأراد أن يستفزهم من الأرض فأغرقناه ومن معه جميعا صدق الله العظيم.
أعوذ بالله من الشيطان الرجيم. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين ولا عاقبة للمتقين ولا عدوان إلا على الظالمين وأشهد أن لا إله إلا الله وحده لا شريك له وأشهد أن محمدا صلى الله عليه وآله وسلم عبد الله ورسوله. Brothers and sisters in Islam, we thank the Almighty Allah for giving us another opportunity to be here again. We thank Him for His mercies that He's bestowed upon us. We bear witness that there is no deity worthy of worship except the Almighty Allah. We also bear witness that the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam is His servant and His messenger. Whosoever the Almighty Allah has guided is really guided, and whoever goes astray has nobody to blame but themselves. The issues that have been trending for the past week or so is something that is dear to all of us, and that is something that we really have to look at. We have to look at it critically. Yes, yesterday or the day before yesterday, we saw the video of our father and our sheikh in a state that we are all not happy about. And alhamdulillah, there has been, issues around that, and people have made their positions known on that. But then I just want us to look at something different today, or that is also closely related, but I think we shouldn't just let it go like that without picking lessons from it. Because the Almighty Allah, always when something happens, there is a need for us Muslims to look at it critically and then pick lessons from it, so that in the future, we will be able to be able to surmount such a hurdle. This morning I woke up to an audio from the justice in which he spoke in Hausa, and then he was telling Muslims that he's their fellow Muslim brother, and then he believes in the Quran and stuff like that. I think a 1 minute 10-second audio. Alhamdulillah, he has come out to speak, but he has not spoken on the very issue that was trending, what happened. And I believe that a video in the English language will be better served in trying to calm the tempers of Muslims, because the statement that he made, whether they are justifiable or not, are very, very disparaging, seriously. And he must swallow that bitter pill and then do the needed. Yes, he's gone to the National Chief Imam, he's gone to Hajj Umar, and I know that they've spoken to the issues. I'm not there, but then my positive suspicion is that they spoke to the issue and then they talked to him about it. But that audio that he did, I don't know, was it last night or this morning, is something that personally, I believe lacks a lot of things in there. There's the need for him to continue to speak to in the English language. That's what we want, in the English language, because the medium that statement came out was in the English language, and I believe a video will be much better than an audio. So if his handlers are listening to me, or those who are closer to him are listening to me, they can help us in doing that. Okay. The journalist also, issued a statement this morning, facts checks on Sheikh Omar's video. I don't really want to respond to that, because he's just still trying to save face without doing the needed. With all, he's just, that's it. Because if, for example, in the write-up, he said one of Justice Tanko's team member then brought out his phone and recorded Sheikh Umar, but you were the one asking questions. So it doesn't matter whether someone else recorded it or you recorded it. You initiated that conversation. You were asking the questions. My voice came through at a point, even though it was not a formal interview, to provide Sheikh Umar with a leading question, just to help him provide an appropriate answer. Wow. After the interview, I immediately requested that the recording to be sent to me for any possible editing. This is where I have a problem. Possible editing. What are you going to edit from the Sheikh's video? What are you going to edit? Are you going to make him up, give him a makeup? Or you're going to edit a full lie and put it on his head? This is where I have a problem. This is the major part where I believe that it is still face saving. It has got nothing to do with apologizing to the old man. What are you going to edit from that video? My reason was informed by many factors, including his positioning and appearance. If that reason of wanting to edit the video, you're going to change his position or you're going to change his appearance when you edit the video. This your write-up is not needed. It's not called for at all. The needed thing was to apologize that, yes, as a professional journalist, the way you saw the Sheikh, you came to visit him, and then Sheikh is speaking and someone picks a phone, and then you know that his positioning and then his appearance is not right. You stop the recording of the video. That's it. You stop the recording of the video. That's what you are supposed to do. But if you come and tell us later that you wanted the recording to be sent to you so that you edit it because many factors, including his positioning and appearance, I don't know if you're going to shift him in the video to a better position, or you're going to make him up, give him a nice appearance. You're going to give him makeup and lipo on the video. You see, if you engage in mischievous activities, it becomes very difficult when you are trying to defend it. I believe this is your write-up. You shouldn't have even done it at all. You should have even kept quiet totally. Not even speak at all. This thing will die its natural death. But then the moment you came out trying to, give justification for what happened, you're rather opening the can further, which is not to it doesn't help anybody. And then that's instructed the young man who recorded the interview to avoid sharing it. If you record a video now, why will you record a video? Do people record videos to keep in their rooms, especially of these circumstances? I repeated this to the hearing of all, including Sheikh Umar. The video went viral, and I will not begrudge anyone who perceived the said interview was my intention was not later in the evening that one of the interviews talking about hijab has hit the social media. At this point, I went blank and immediately called the young man who recorded the interview and denied sharing the video. Investigation is currently ongoing to find out who first started the video. I don't know what kind of investigations you want to do. I don't know and how you're going to do it. But we don't care who shared the video first. The very moment that thing happened, the very moment it happened, it's problematic. And your professionality as a journalist should have informed that from the beginning that no, there was no need to record this man, because this is just a private visit, and in private settings people can share opinions that might even be damning to the country. People might share their opinions that are even treasonous in private sittings, and private sittings you need to ask for the opinion, the permission of the person before you record them. So in a nutshell, you did the old man a great disservice, especially looking at your profession. Seriously, you did him a great disservice. And this kame and this shure be hana mutua. You could have written just one paragraph, and then all of us criticizing you, our mouth will just be quiet. That's it. My brother, I wish you can drop analysis of the article, please. My sister, leave me, let me do it. He has touched our father and our grandfather, and this article is also worse, and we need to talk to it. That it is not enough. He must apologize to the old man. I won't begrudge anyone who perceived the said interview as my planned work because of my voice, but I think further checks and clarification will have avoided many unwarranted attacks on me. It is obviously clear that the major highlight of many concerned individuals who called or texted me to inquire was on his appearance and not the content. No, we agree. We disagree. It is both the appearance and the content. It's both the appearance and the content. But then, I wasn't even interested in even talking about this. But because of that statement, I read, and I think there's a need for us to talk about the article, some part of it, to move on. But then, to my substantive issue today, I believe that it's very, very important. After all these things that have happened, I believe the Almighty Allah is sending us a message as Muslims in this country, in Ghana. The Almighty Allah is sending us a clear-cut message that we need to sit up. And from time to time, the Almighty Allah sends us a message for us to champion the cause of our rights, to struggle for our rights. But then, I don't know what happens. Some few years ago, a boy was killed in Editorial College for not attending church service. Yes, I said killed. He didn't go to the church service. The teacher chased him to punish him. The boy had to fall off a building and break his neck and died. In the end, we did the thing, a fearsome, and that's it. The Almighty Allah sent us that opportunity. A life was lost so that we will be able to champion a cause. That young man lost his life so that Muslims in Ghana, we can sit up and champion the rights of our children, our mothers, our sisters, our sons, our daughters. Someone lost a life in this struggle. The Almighty Allah sent us that opportunity. That young man lost his life because he was trying to protect his deen. He is a student of a government institution, and our constitution grants us the freedom of religion and whatever that is associated with that. The boy didn't want to attend church service because it is not part of his religion. It's not what he believes in. So in dodging and running away and being chased by a teacher so that the teacher wanted to catch him and punish him, the boy lost his life. It was an opportunity for us to use it and whoever was involved as a scapegoat. And that was an important turning point in our lives as Muslims. I believe this thing happened close to 20 years ago now, because I believe it was during the time of President Kufuor. We didn't use it. You see, sometimes, let's understand something. Sometimes being docile and being soft and being, understanding and being magnanimous, yes, it's a virtue. But in some situations, you need to hit the iron hard. You need to do that. We need to, because, rights are not given. You have to fight to get the rights. Read about independence struggles. Read about right movements and see what happened to the ones leading the charge of those rights or struggles. They were chastised, they were blamed, they went to prison. So the Almighty Allah gave us that opportunity. Someone lost his life. A life was lost. The parents had to grieve for their child. But then the rest of the Muslim community, that's it. We prayed Fatiha Ilafi and that was it. It was in the dustbin. Then quite recently again, a young lady writing of deck was prevented from wearing the hijab to enter into the examination hall in Takoradi. And my elder brother and uncle had said Jallo. They had to rush to that examination center. And the girl's time was wasted. She finally entered, and then it was not enough time for her to finish the exams. And there was an arrangement with WAEC. In the end, we had to sue WAEC. And when WAEC itself knew the severity of the case, they requested for an out-of-court settlement. I didn't agree with that out-of-court settlement. And I don't agree with an out-of-court settlement in these issues. We have been marginalized for long. We have been discriminated against for long. We pay the same taxes. There is no discount for Muslims in this country. We all pay the same taxes. We all live under the same rule. We all live under the same leadership. Then why is it that we are being discriminated upon because of our religion? And then when the opportunity comes for us to fight that, we end up doing it if yes, let's do out-of-court settlement. I don't agree with that at all. There's a need for us to make use of these opportunities that are coming. They have always been there. They have always been coming. I went to St. Augustine's College. Mass was compulsory. You have to go to Mass. But then St. Augustine's College gave us a place where we can worship. Yes, in Ramadan, they gave us food. Yes, these institutions, when you have a level-headed person there at the head of affairs, things move on smoothly. I remember very well during our time, the patron of AMSU, Augustine's Muslim Student Union, was the assistant headmaster administration. The assistant headmaster was our patron. And anytime we had an end-of-year party in the masjid, we invited him with other teachers, and then they came. When I was in Augustine's, there was no Muslim teacher at that time. The Muslim teacher left before I came in. And we had this cordial relationship with these leaders. And sometimes when we are even going for JIMSA programs, the headmaster, the assistant headmaster will go with us in the school bus. I remember that vividly. They gave us exits to go home for Eid. I remember that in St. Augustine's College. But then, why don't we take it a step further? Why is it that other institutions are not doing so? Why is it that the Ministry of Health will write a directive to all state institutions, health facilities, health whatever, that the Muslim sisters should be allowed to wear their hijab? But then, some directors there will use whatever means to frustrate and struggle the progress. And then we won't make a scapegoat out of one of them because we are peace, loving, magnanimous, tolerant Muslims. No. When there's the time for hardness and strictness and discipline, Islam calls for it. Yes. Islam calls for it. When it's time for you to be strong and wild, Islam calls for it. So let's not hide behind the magnanimity of our religion and tolerance and then allow people to flout the laws anyhow they want. It is a time now, and I believe that after this dust settles, we shouldn't also fold our mats and then go back and go and sleep again. We now have someone at the Supreme Court. He's a Muslim. He made unfortunate statement. Yes, it is true. But then he is one of us. And I always say this and I always repeat. I was very happy when he was nominated. And I'm still happy he is going to be in that position. Aside the unfortunate statement that he made. But then it is a time that we use his office meaningfully. Since it is a case of discrimination against us on our rights and the rights of whoever minorities that we are having, and this constitution is a secular constitution, then there's a need for us to use it. We have Muslim lawyers, we have Muslim judges, we have now one sitting on the Supreme Court bench. Let's make good use of it, especially looking at the things that have happened. The back and forth that we have been we've done, it is very, very important for me that what next? And before the dust settles, I want us to champion this issue. What next after this dust has settled? Justice Sanko becomes a Supreme Court judge. We return back to our discriminations and all these machinations against us. Is that what we are going to go back to? What lessons have we picked from this? From the greater picture. It's not about the individuals involved in all this scene. It's about the greater picture for us Muslims. This issue, I believe, has trended more than any issue in the Zongo communities. So it is high time we make good use of this opportunity that Allah sent us. Some few years ago, a boy died. Some few years ago, people were denied writing exams. I quite remember when I was in the University of Cape Coast. It was time for exams. I was doing distance education. I entered the examination room with this, my cap on my head, my fulla. I entered the exam hall to write the exam. And then an invigilator entered in. And then after some time, I was, and I put the cap on the table. I was writing my exam. So he told me that I should pick the cap and take it outside. I just looked at him and said, hey, don't disturb me. Don't disturb me. I'm writing an exam. Don't come and make a fuss around me. I'm very busy. He said, but you are not allowed to bring in a cup like this here. I told him, who said I can't bring this in here? Next to me, there was a pastor who had his cross around his neck. I said, but he has the right to bring the cross around his neck, right? But me, I can't bring this, my cap. Do you know who I am? Lo and behold, a reverend father from the Catholic, church entered in, and then he had his cap. He was not a student. And I said, tell the reverend father to take his cap off and leave it outside. Nonsense. Don't disturb me. And then he kept quiet. I continued my examination. We have people who have this hatred towards Islam. Yes. Laysu sawa. Not every Christian has this kind of hatred or this hatred towards Muslim. Not all of them. And Islam makes us understand that. But then, if we think that we always open our teeth like this, and then we'll get things right, it will never happen. I'm reliably informed in very high quarters the way this level of discrimination is deep. the way this level of hatred is deep. After the hijab walk that we did last year, a friend of mine showed me a conversation he's having with one of the directors of the Ghana nurses, whatever, and the kind of statement, disparaging statement she's making about the hijab walk that we did. You think you get it easy? You think we'll be handed, it will be handed to us on a silver platter just like that, all because we said we want our rights? No, you fight for it, tooth and nail. And let me tell you, the fight too is within and without. There are some Muslims who will frustrate the activity. There are some Muslims who will disturb the process. There are some Muslims who will heckle us. There are some Muslims who will be obstacles. So I'm telling you, if we really want to make a headway, let's look at the history of the Sahaba, the way they suffered in producing Islam for us, the way they suffered in protecting Islam for us. You think Islam came for us free of charge? People had to die for you to get Islam. People died. People were slaughtered. People were butchered before Islam came to us. The Seerah is not something that we must read and go. No. The Seerah is something we read, look at it, understand, and then implement it. And these current trends are very important trends for us to look into the Seerah and see how did the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ make use of unfortunate incidents and situations during his time. How did he channel it for it to be something positive for Muslims? So I urge us that those of us, Shakana, inshallah, after the program, I'll call you and then give you the insight about the whole thing. It's not easy. You won't get it easy. You wouldn't get it easy. When you are in the minority, you wouldn't get it easy. When you have people openly displaying their hatred towards you, you won't get it easy. So Muslims, open your eyes and understand what is on the table and smell the coffee. You think by virtue of us having a vice president as a Muslim, that is the end of the world, our problems will be solved? It won't be solved. Until we get up to help those Muslims at the high positions to help us, it wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. Until we get up and then we support the vice president, the ministers that we have, the MPs that we have, the judges that we have, the lawyers that we have. Yes, we will disagree with some of their utterances. Naturally, it will happen. But then until we all soldier on, we all put our hands to the yoke to push it, it won't happen. It won't. It's not something that is going to happen overnight. It's not going to happen overnight. To those of us at the forefront, the frontliners, let's not lose hope. No, that's the last thing we are going to do. Lose hope, give up. It's not an option for us on the table. Giving hope, giving up and losing hope, it's not an option for us on the table at all. It's not an option. If those freedom fighters in other jurisdictions had given up, do you think those people would be enjoying that thing now? They wouldn't be enjoying. So the onus is upon us. So long as we've decided to champion a cause, let's stay resolute. The obstacles will be there. The machinations will be there. The very people we expect to be in the supporting club might end up being in the opposition club. The very people we expect to push it further might be the ones who will give up and then sit back and then say it's not possible, it's not going to happen. And it's like that in life. Some people that you really expect are the ones who are going to support you will end up opposing you. Some people that you expect might help will just sit down and then fold their arms and then, but that doesn't mean you should give up. And that doesn't mean you should have problems with those people. No, use your energy to move on further. Use your energy to champion whatever you are doing. So I've seen some comrades, some colleagues, comment on Facebook, the situation, yes, stuff like that. But then I believe before even the dust settles, let's champion it. Let's be extra vigilant. We have lawyers within us. We have all the professionals that we need in every sphere of human life. Muslims from the Zongo, we have them. What is important is that let's make use of it. I say, let's get a scapegoat discriminating against us in hijab. Even if it's a primary school, let's use it. Let's start somewhere. Let's sue someone in court. Whether big or small, let's have a ripple effect. And the issue of out of court settlement is out. Let's take it out. We don't need that. We need to let someone wet their pants in court. When we do that, our sisters and our wives and our daughters will be safe. But then, if some of these issues and incidents happen and then we close our hands after it is done, Salu ala nabil karim fati ali ilafi, and then we close the case, someone will do something more dangerous. So, my message to all of us, Muslims, professionals, sheikhs, every Muslim that you are listening to me, that this issue is an opportunity that Almighty Allah has sent for us to use to fight our cause. Inna Allah la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. The Almighty Allah doesn't change the conditions of people unless they themselves get up to change their conditions. The days of manna and salwa are over. The days that the Almighty Allah sends food from heaven are over. The days that the Almighty Allah sends wahi are over. The Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam's time is over. It's our time now. So we need to look into the Sharia and find solutions to the problems that we are facing. We need to look into the Sirah and see how practically the Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam lived and then implement it in our lives. But then if situation happens, we talk and talk and talk and talk and talk. After the dust settles, a week, two, that is it. We forget about it. We wait for another 5 years for something to happen, and then we scream and shout and shout and shout and shout. And then after 2-3 weeks, it dies off. We don't have any future. We hit the iron when it is still hot. So let's mobilize ourselves. The hijab squad, let's mobilize ourselves. Whatever squad that we are doing, those who are fighting on different fronts, let's get up. Let's not lose hope. Let's not despair. Yes, it might be a damning blow in our faces, but that is not the end. We shouldn't give up. We shouldn't give up. Let's make good use of it. And this is also another, lesson we can pick for those professionals that we have at higher places, who Islam might not be, an important factor in what you do. This is another opportunity. It's another opportunity. I know of MPs who love the religion and who are fighting for the religion, who are fighting for our cause. Yes, I know of it. I know of them. I know of professionals, media men who are very, very, very much passionate about the cause. Yes, I know. Those who might have slept off or those who might be dozing, this is another opportunity for you to wake up and join the wagon for us to champion this cause. We have university lecturers. We have high school teachers. We have lawyers. We have engineers. We have journalists. We have doctors. There is no professional service in this country that you don't have an association of Muslims for them. We have them. It's high time we make use of these associations in whatever professional that we are in. The Muslim Medical Association, the Muslim Lawyers Association, the Muslim Engineer Association, the Muslim Caucus in Parliament, then all these people are doing something. Yes. Some of us know it. Some of us do not know it. But it's high time we need to see these people at the forefront. We need to do that. They need to come out. They are a source of motivation for a lot of us. But it's now time to put on the boots and dirty our socks. If we want to see in the next 10 years our sisters, medical officers donning the full hijab, we start doing it now. Let me tell you a parable. If you know of the Chinese bamboo tree, the Chinese bamboo tree is something that we must put our minds to and look at it very carefully. When they plant the Chinese bamboo tree, they have to fertilize and nurture the soil, that place, for 5 years after planting the bamboo tree. The seedlings, when they plant it, they have to nurture the place for 5 years. It doesn't shoot up, it doesn't germinate out of the soil until after 5 years. The Chinese bamboo tree doesn't germinate and shoot out of the soil until after 5 years. After 5 years, the moment it shoots up, it grows 90 feet tall in 5 weeks. Did the tree grow 90 feet tall in 5 weeks or in 5 years? Obviously, it grew 90 feet tall in 5 years. Because if at any point in time, the farmer stops nurturing the soil, he stops putting in fertilizer, stop watering it, that seed is going to die. And excuse me, this is the situation that we are in. Let's not expect to get results overnight. Let's not expect to get seeds overnight. It is a Chinese bamboo tree that we are nurturing now. And until we Muslims understand that we need to fight harder, we need to work extra hard, we need to all bring our expertise onto the table, it's not going to work. We'll always end up blaming everybody else for our problems. And that's another cancer. We always blame other people for our problems when we cannot do anything about it, and when we must do something about it. And then sometimes people feel by just complaining we are doing something about it. Complaining doesn't bring you the results. Complaining doesn't give you the fruits that you need. You need to get up. You need to make use of the resources that you have. You need to make use of it. It won't come to you free of charge. Muslims must understand this. The days of manna and salwa are over. Get it. The Almighty Allah doesn't come down to come and help anything, to change anything. He's giving you the intellect. We are in a secular state that has secular rules that allows for freedom of expression and freedom of association. Make good use of it. You are not second-class citizens. You are not strangers. You are a recognized community. And every political party in this country is craving to get either a Muslim or a Northerner as a running mate. Why? Because they understand our importance. But then, when we are giving the running mate and then the Muslim becomes vice president, that is it. Hey, and that's the end of the day. And then we expect that vice president to do everything on his own. It's not going to work that way. It's not going to work that way. So brothers, let's wake up. Let's smell the coffee. And let's champion the cause. The other issue has to do with our grandfathers' all-time case. The old man has always been speaking about infrastructure. And in some videos, I spoke about the Sharia being both spiritual and physical. Muslims in Ghana, we need to put in place our own structures, our own infrastructure. Yes. As we fight for the right for us to use the government institutions fairly with our neighbors, we should also put in place our own infrastructure. Thereby, we'll have access to two forms of infrastructure, the government one and then ours. The fact that we pay taxes and that taxes are used in running the state doesn't mean that we should just close our hands and put it between our thighs and expect that the government, we are going to make use of what government has. No. The fact that government has provided for you electricity doesn't mean that you should not have a standby generator. The fact that government has provided pipe-borne water doesn't mean you shouldn't dig a well in your house, because it will get to a time whereby there's going to be power outage. And then if you have a generator, you will continue enjoying electricity. There will be a time whereby the tap will not be flowing, but because you have a well, a borehole in your house, you continue enjoying water. It's very, very important that we put in place all this infrastructure. It's very, very important. This year, we are not going for Hajj. We are not going for Hajj this year. Why can't the Alhajis? We are not going. No, I don't know. Maybe it's possible we will not go. But if we are not going, why don't we have all these big professionals who are going for Hajj come together onto the same table and donate their monies, those $3,000, $5,000 that they go for Hajj? If we get 1,000 Muslims, each person donating $5,000, we have $5 million. We can start putting in place infrastructure. Why can't we do so? Why can't we do so? Why can't we, the Hajj board, every Hajj, every Alhaji that we have, we charge a levy of $100 on each Alhaji. So if you have 6,000 Ghanaians going for Hajj and each Alhaji is giving $100, that is $600,000. Every year, Muslims in Ghana, just from Hajj alone, we can raise $600,000 as infrastructure levy, where we can build our own schools, build our own hospitals. This idea is not rocket science. I'm not the only one who has this idea. We have it in our communities. We have the ideas, but our problem is implementation. So until we smell the coffee on that aspect too, we will not be able to make any headway. So let's find ways to raise funds. Sheikh Umar initiated the Waqf, where if you have 60,000 Muslims paying 1 Ghana cedi a month, every month we will be able to raise 60,000 Ghana cedis. Brilliant idea. It didn't see the light of day. It started very, very well. In the end, it's still working, but it's not as strong as it used to be. The National Chief Imam has the Sheikh Usman Nu Sharbutu, Educational Trust Fund. How many of us are investing in that fund to educate people and put in place infrastructure? Ask my brother Sheikh Uzema and ask him, how is the fund? What is happening to the fund? In the end, we are our own enemies. Look at the Asantini Educational Fund and see how it is working. So infrastructure, as the old man said, is also very, very important. Very, very, very important. We need to sit down, use our economic brains, our accounting brains, our marketing brains, our investment brains. Let's use that. By using that, we'll also put in place infrastructure. Come into our communities. We are selling homes, and then people are building shops. If you look at Nima Highway now, Nima is now turning into an industrial area. It's no longer a residential area. Every lungu, every corner you pass, there are shops. Why? People have really understood that there's a need to raise funds. So why can't we do that? In my lecture about Islam's, flexibility, we talked about the importance of the masjid and then the need for the So it's very, very important. Very, very, very important that we pick lessons from all these incidents that are happening. Very, very, very important. So my message to you today, as Ramadan is going, as we are preparing to go out of the lockdown totally, hopefully, as we are in our homes, let's try as much as possible to think how best we can move the nation on. Wallahi, there are people who are working behind the scenes. I know it. No need to mention their names. To help champion the cause. People are giving scholarships to Zongo children to continue education. Yes. People are doing it. People are helping to set people up in terms of businesses. Yes. Muslims, high places. Yes. But they alone cannot do it. All of us need to come and sit onto the same table and discuss these issues. to champion the cause. During the battle of Al-Ahzab, the Prophet Muhammad ﷺ called the Jews of Medina to come and help in defending the city. If the Jews were called to help defend the lives of Muslims, then we can also all come together, irrespective of whatever differences that we are having with each other, to sit on the same table to discuss some of these developmental ideas. So please, let's not let this dust settle without finding a way out. Our elders who are listening to us, people in the office of the National Chief Imam, people in the office of Ahlus Sunnah wal Jama'ah, the Muslim Caucus of Parliament, the COMO, Coalition of Muslim Organizations of Ghana, the Ghana Muslim Association of Professionals, all these top organizations that we have, Muslims in this country, let's eschew the disagreements and champion a cause. Let me repeat this. It doesn't matter who holds the flag of Islam high in Ghana. What is important is that the flag of Islam is being held high in Ghana. Very, very important. It mustn't be that me, it must be me. No. Let's support each other, because the onslaught is on all of us. The onslaught is on all of us. So if we continue bickering and fighting each other in fighting this cause, we rather weaken ourselves and strengthen whoever is attacking us. So let's pick lessons from these things. And there are lessons, a lot, that we can pick in this issue. This is the few that I've been able to pick as a student and a young man. I believe most of you have picked a lot of lessons that will help us continue this charge and continue this fight. It's not easy. We won't get it on a silver platter. Al-huquq tuntaza. You see, rights are snatched. You don't get them on a silver platter. You fight for them tooth and nail. And until we are ready to fight tooth and nail, we will not be able to safeguard our children. We went through the discriminations. We went through all the machinations. And we are still going through them, both in-house and outside. But if we say we are going to tend to respond to every setback with pain and anguish and crying, we won't get to where we are going. It's very, very important that we pick a position in this one. And I'm charging Justice Tanko with this. If he is listening, or if anybody is next to him, I'm charging him with this. This whole issue started because of his statement at the vetting. I think it is an opportunity for him to remake history again. He's made history in this country as the first Muslim to occupy that bench. I think he can still remain in our hearts, in our history books, in Muslims in this country, that when he got that position, there was a definite statement from the judicial service in Ghana concerning the rights of Muslim girls. I believe that is a challenge I'm throwing to him. And I know he's up to task and then he can do it. Sometimes some calamities happen to prepare us or to push us or to propel us to do something good. Umar bin Khattab was a staunch critic and enemy of Islam. But then now, when you talk about warriors of Islam, Umar bin Khattab is at the forefront behind Abu Bakr Siddiq radiallahu anhu ajma'in. I'm not saying Justice Tanko is not a Muslim. No, I'm just only making an analogy. That statement that he made is damning. Yes. But then I believe, like Umar, the Almighty Allah can use him to champion our cause. And then we are ready and willing to support him in that. I'm making it clear. He is going to get our support day and night if he is going to use that to let us get what we want within the confines of Ghana's constitution. It's very, very clear on that. So brothers and sisters, we all have our opinions. We all have our rights. But then I believe that before this settles, let's make headway. It shouldn't be like that of Adisadal College. It shouldn't be like that of WAEC. It shouldn't be like that of the nurses. It should be something that we are championing. Thank you very much for listening to us today. It's the same editorial we're having today. Tomorrow, we'll try and finish up our Ramadan series, inshallah. Thank you very much for listening to us. Let's calm down, as I said yesterday. It's important that we calm down. We will not always be angry throughout our lives. You can't be angry 24 hours. Yes, excuse me, the pain will still be there. But then, let's channel that anger, that passion into getting what is our right. Let's not leave that anger to just evaporate without us putting it into a right way. And our brothers and our sisters who are fighting for our rights, left, right, and center, let's not lose hope. Let's not give up. It's important that we still soldier on. It's not easy. It won't come easy. Not everybody will praise you, and not everybody will love you. Sometimes people who are praising you are not doing you well. You all know the story of the mosquito. When it started flying, it came back home and then he told its mother that, hey, when I was flying, the people were clapping for me. He said when it was flying, the people were clapping for him. He thought that those claps were what? Were compliment. He didn't know that they were claps that were meant to kill him. So sometimes, not all the praises are something that we are in our favor. So please, let's soldier on. Let's continue. Yes, we are disappointed. We are dismayed. We've been hit a blow in our face. But then, I say something. When something knocks you in life, when you are falling, try and fall on your back. Because if you can look up, you can get up. ربنا آتنا في الدنيا حسنة وفي الآخرة حسنة وقنا عذاب النار. ربنا لا تزغ قلوبنا بعد إذ هديتنا وهب لنا من لدنك رحمة إنك أنت الوهاب. سبحانك اللهم وبحمدك نشهد أن لا إله إلا أنت نستغفرك ونتوب إليك. سبحان ربك رب العزة عما يصفون وسلام على المرسلين والحمد لله رب العالمين والسلام عليكم.